Hello and welcome to Katrinas Creations. I'm filming in my living room today for someplace a little different, and I have a finished object. I am wearing it. I am wearing the February ladies cardigan that I've been working on. So I'll show you an up close of the sleeves. And I've got the buttons on. I have a total of 5 buttons. So, and I was real happy with the sleeves were meant to be 3/4 length and they were bell sleeves and I didn't like that. So I just kept decreasing them, and you really can't see a whole lot of the decreases. They're basically right in here. Yeah, I was real careful. My sleeves are the same length, which is also a plus. So I'm going to stick in a clip of me modeling it so you can see what it looks like all together. So here's my sweater. It fits good under the arms. It does feel like it's a little big in the back, but hey, it hides the hips. So I'll get a little closer here. You can see the button band. So, and here's what the sleeves look like, and I like the way they fit. They're nice and snug. They're not tight, but they're not hanging all loose and blousy. So yeah, I'm real happy with it, and it is warm. So I have not blocked it. I don't know if I'm going to, just because it is an acrylic anyway. But yeah, I think it fits pretty good under the arms. It's a little loose, but not hugely. And the sweater I'm wearing, or the shirt I'm wearing underneath, is like a t-shirt. So if I wore another, like a thicker sweater, this would give the extra room I need here. So here is what it looks like. So that's my finished object. Then my works in progress. I have not added any hexagons to my big hexie blanket that I'm working on, but I have done a bunch of hexies in between Christmas and family visiting and things. So I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. These are both the same yarn. 9. Here's 2 more that are the same yarn. 10, 11. I have 2 more of the same red. That's 12 and 13, and then I have 14, and then I have, these the same color? No, they are slightly different. These 2 are the same color. This is 15 and 16, and then I have this one, which is 17. So I've made 17 of them. Now I did a little count on my blanket so far. So right now I have 9 rows of 20, so that's 180 squares that are on the blanket already. And then counting the ones that I've made so far this week, and the ones that I've made in the past that are sitting in a basket, I have a total of about another, let me check my notes here, I've got about another 115 that are made already, which will take me up to 295. It's going to take me 440 roughly in order to make this blanket. So, but I've got plenty of yarn at this point, so I'm just working my way through it. And I haven't been hooking them together for a reason, because I want to make sure that the colors are definitely spread out throughout the blanket. I don't want to end up with like all of my reds in one section and then no reds in another section. So I'm waiting till I get a good big supply of hexagons made, and then I'll start connecting them again. So that's what I've been working on this week. What have you been working on? if you would like to participate in our show and tell, it's open to anyone. You just need to send me either an email or a Facebook post on my Facebook page to show me your project and tell me a little bit about it. You can contact me at my email at KatrinasCreations@yahoo.com, and my Facebook page is Katrina Knits, and you can post over there, and then I will put it in show and tell. It does not need to be a newly completed project. It could be something you've made in the past that you want to share with someone. So the blanket sitting behind me, you may be going, oh, you've got a hexagon blanket. This is a different one. These hexagons are made with, let's see, 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5 rows. So that the top across here is 10 stitches. This one is made with 4 rows and it goes across at 8 stitches. So this is a slightly smaller hexagon that these are made with. So I should have made them even bigger than this, but I wanted to get as many hexagons out of a mini skein as I could. So, and I roughly get out of a 20-gram mini skein, I roughly get about 4 and a little bit more, about 4.5 per mini skein. So if you've missed Vlogmas, we ran that from December 1st up until the 24th. If you missed that and you'd like to catch up and see the yarn that I'm talking about that I made these with, as well as go on some Christmas adventures, you can click the link here and that will take you over to it and you can check out those vlogs. So speaking of Vlogmas, I already have my Vlogmas yarn for next year's yarn advent calendar, and I actually can show it to you ahead of time and I'll explain why. The first thing I will show you are these. This is part of next year's Vlogmas. This is Stroll. And this is fingering weight. And there are, where's it at? There we go. 231 yards in a 50-gram skein, and I got 2 of them. And the fiber content is 75% superwash, fine superwash merino wool, and 25% nylon. So you could use these for socks. This is really soft, and a lot of the Vlogmas this year, a lot of the advent calendar was made with, or was bought from Stroll mini skeins. So it's a really, really soft yarn. This is going to be part of next year's. But the yarn I'm going to be opening each day looks like this and like this. So if you haven't guessed what I'm going to do, throughout the year I'm going to be dyeing mini skeins, and then I'm going to put the yarn advent calendar together. By the time next Christmas comes, I will forget what it looked like, so it'll be still a surprise to me. So I bought some mini skeins, and the ones that I bought, these are Hawthorne fingering weight. Each of these are 10 grams and they're 35 yards. So these are Hawthorne, and I have out of these, let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 of these minis. And then I had some leftover yarn. This is Knit Picks Palette, which is 100% Peruvian Highland wool. And these are in 10-gram balls, and I have 8 of these. And then I am going to divide this up. This is a 100-gram skein, so I will divide it up into 10 grams as well. This is 462 yards in 100 grams, and this again is the Stroll yarn, which is the same as this, which is the same as this. So I will be dyeing this and creating my own yarn advent calendar for next Christmas. So that should be fun. When my granddaughter was out, my son and my daughter-in-law and their 4 children stayed with us. They came just before Christmas, And so my granddaughter, both of my granddaughters are crocheters. So I've dyed yarn with my older granddaughter. So this time I dyed yarn with my younger granddaughter, and I could kick myself because I forgot to film the finished project. But I had some bulky bare yarn from Knit Picks, and the yarn I just showed you is all from Knit Picks as well. But I had some bare yarn, and it was a bulky weight yarn. And so I took a full skein and I divided it up into 5 smaller skeins just so it was easier to work with. She wanted different gradients of blue, but it was kind of interesting because I was using different dyes. I just used food coloring. So I used some gel dyes, and then I had 2 different bottles of blue from 2 different manufacturers of food coloring. So every one of them had a different shade of blue. So it was kind of neat. By the time she finished with it, she had different shades of blue. Some of them were more denim colored, some were almost leaning towards a teal color. And then she actually, the one skein she left mostly, left it white with a lot of like blue streaks in it. And then she put some green into it as well to blend it. And then we hung them in the laundry room to dry. And like I said, I wish I would have remembered to take a picture. We were having fun doing it, and I just completely forgot about taking a picture to show you all. But yeah, she went home with 5 skeins of kind of different shades of blue, and then 4 shades of blue, and then one with a blue and green mix. So it really turned out well. The colors stayed really vibrant, so I'm anxious to see what she's going to make with it. So that'll be fun to watch. So I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. Dave and I actually had a quiet Christmas. Normally my son and daughter-in-law come out like around the 20th or 21st, and they stay till the day after Christmas and go home, and they've done that for 16 years. But this year they decided they wanted to be home, and I totally understand that. They wanted to be home for Christmas for a change. So it was a little different, but it worked out really well. We got together as a family on the 21st, and then they left on the 23rd, so we went to church service on the 24th, you know, Christmas Eve in the evening. And then with all the chaos going on, and then my dad's health issues going on, because my dad does have Alzheimer's, he's in a memory care unit, I took my mom down to visit my dad. And then Christmas Day, we actually relaxed and did nothing. I didn't even get out of my pajamas. I made a big pot of soup, and I made some homemade sourdough bread, which was my best loaf I've ever made. It really turned out well. We've been snacking on it since. But yeah, anyway, I made that, and that's what we did. We had a nice big breakfast, and then we had soup and bread for dinner, and just had a nice day to relax. So it was a good Christmas. So I hope you all had a Merry Christmas as well. So Friday's video this week, since I have finished this knitted project, I have some sweater quantity yarns that I have bagged up. I did this back in the summer. I went through all of my yarns, put things together in sweater quantities, those things that I had them in. I bagged them, and I wrote on the outside of the bag what yardage was in that bundle, what total yardage was in there. So Friday's video is I'm going to show you those different bundles, and I want you all to help me pick out what bundle of sweater yarn I'm going to use for my next project. I don't know what particular sweater or cardigan I'm going to make with it, because a lot's going to depend on how much yardage is available, but I'm going to let you all pick the color that I go with next, or the color combination that I go with next. So make sure you stay tuned to Friday so you can help pick out my next cardigan or pullover. So I think it'll be fun, something different to do this time. So now it's time for, now in our Come and Get It section, we have a lot of end of year sales that are going on. The first one is Mary Maxim. They are having their after Christmas clearance sale. It does end on the 30th. So it is up to 50 to 70% off of their clearance section. So yeah, I just put an order in from Mary Maxim. If you saw my video during Vlogmas where I bought the green gradient yarn to make the continuous C2C, the viewer, Mary, who had made that I had been drooling over her project, and that's why I'm making that project, was I saw hers. she sent me a little note with how much yardage it took, and I looked at what I had and realized I did not have enough yardage. So yeah, I went on to Mary Maxim and bought enough more of that yarn in the same color and everything so that I can make it the right size. So yeah, that'll be coming in shortly. So if you're interested in any of the sales that I talk about, the links are down below in the description box. So that was Mary Maxim. The next is Lovecrafts. Lovecrafts, and I'm not sure how long the sale lasts, but if you spend $30 or more, you get $5 off with the coupon 5 off. So just put that in when you get to the checkout, put 5 off, and if you've spent $30 or more, you get $5 off of that purchase. Lion Brand is running up to 30% off of select yarns, and then you can get an additional 20% off of that with the coupon code DECADD20. So that ends on Monday. So you can get up to 30% off of select yarns plus an additional 20% off of that. And then lastly, we have Knit Picks. They are running up to 40% off of their luxury brand yarns. Stroll is not considered one of their luxury yarns. However, the Stroll yarn, this really soft stuff, is on sale at 20% off until the end of the month. So Stroll is their 20% off. That's their yarn of the month. So if you're interested in some of the Stroll, like I said, that's 20% off, and that ends the end of this month. So those are the sales that I know of. If I run across any more, I will send out a little video. Thank you so much for watching, and for those of you who watched through Vlogmas, I really appreciate that. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas, and I'm wishing you a happy new year. I'll see you again on Friday. Make sure you watch so you can help me pick out my sweater. So thanks for watching. See you all later. Bye-bye.